So what's up, everybody? So here we are again, getting towards the end of September, and once again there's very strong indications, rumors, if you will, if you want to call it that, signs, signals, however you want to call it, that VIPKid is going to completely cease operations as far as foreign teachers go on October 1st. There's a lot of strong indicators behind this. When you start having parents and LPs and other people in China tell you this, it's probably true. The last people that are going to tell you this is VIPKid Advocacy or the Facebook group. They're going to tell you like at the 11th hour is when they're most likely to tell you it's just always been that way. It's always followed these patterns, and this again has the same signatures and indications of being true. So I would say that the rumors and conjecture are very likely to be true, which should come as no surprise, quite frankly, to many people by now. I wouldn't be surprised if this is what happens. Another kind of canary in the coal mine, if you will, about this came at the end of last month. I'm not sure if I really talked about it. I'm sure we talked about it at some point, but there was a news article that came out, and it was really just regarding one district in China that they had basically released that they were going to have these tutoring companies shut down August 1st. But people said, oh, that's just one district. But then the thinking is kind of that, what do they say, when Beijing sneezes, the rest of China gets a cold. So basically, I'll link that article down here so you can read it. It doesn't really say a whole lot, but it says that companies must offer refunds for any courses, let me look at the camera here, after October 1st and move operations into other domains. So any courses that would take place after October 1st must be refunded, and they've got to basically start using whatever their new system is, which from what we understand is going to be a combination of AI and a live Chinese English teacher. So they're going to kind of do that. So that seems to be the way it's going. I would put a high likelihood on that being true. I hope that most of you have actually prepared for this moment, and by now people have had plenty of time. I know there was a lot of hope that this would keep going for a long time, that maybe some of these students have they have hundreds of classes. It seems like that maybe at least until next spring. I know a lot of people really had kind of held out hope that's the way it would go, but you have to be prepared for this, that the CCP at any moment could drop the hammer and say, we're not gonna have this keep going indefinitely. And with VIPKids, really their lack of transparency on the matter. I mean, who knows what they know or what they don't know? I don't know. I don't really blame them for this. I blame them for the lack of transparency, but for the different laws coming down, unfortunately that's not really anything they could probably do a whole lot about. But that's where it is. Me myself, I've kind of already moved on. I mean, I've pretty much totally moved on, other than I'm making videos and still in a few groups. I've already gotten myself a new job, which I like, and changing careers, and a lot of that, luckily, has started in motion before all this. I was starting to make some changes, but before all this really came. So, and that's just really fortunate that I was prepared in that way. I know a lot of my friends out there that are teachers have also began moving, and I'm reading some pretty cool posts about different stuff that you guys are doing, and that's wonderful to hear. There's still a lot of opportunity out there. It's still what I would consider to be a job seekers marketplace. Use each other, use the community of friends, and like-minded teachers to go over each other's resumes, to give each other job tips. I put out a resume in a couple of Facebook groups, and you'd be surprised. I had some teacher friends, some locally, reach out with opportunities and say, hey, there's this job opportunity, and and they started telling me about it. So really, really speak up, let people know what you're into, what your skills are, what you'd like to do. And that's how you'll get some, maybe some friends will respond that, hey, you know what, so-and-so is looking for a job doing exactly that. I mean, that really does happen. So just think good thoughts. Let people know that you're looking for a job. Get on LinkedIn, get on Indeed. Once again, I'm not too optimistic about the ESL industry. I think that's I think, and a lot of it's, because I don't want to do it, but the other, I really enjoyed teaching for VIPKid, and I thought that was a lot of fun, and just the whole community and the whole setup and the way it was, and, a lot of the culture and connecting with people and these families in China, which, nobody but us is going to understand. Somebody on the outside would have a totally, they just wouldn't even understand it. They would, but it really happened. We were there. We saw what happened. We know the connections we made, the positive, influences that we were able to have on these students. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a wonderful thing. And, it's such a glorious thing in my mind to really be a part of here. But, that's kind of where my mind is. I'll always cherish the time of VIPKid. But I've, as far as most things go, I moved on. I don't have any classes left. I've already taught my last classes. I mean, I suppose, the contract's still open. So I guess theoretically, yeah, I could, but I'm not really looking to probably do a whole lot more with it. But that's kind of where we are. So yeah, again, use your friends and your resources. You just touch base with those people. Find out what opportunities are out there. There's a lot more opportunity than a lot of you might think. I think it's kind of easy to get a job. All of you are talented, educated people. So just think about it. Maybe an entry-level job into a new career could be something that you would do. I know, unfortunately, I know there's a lot of you out there that you really need to kind of work from home, and that this remote-based work was really, it did a lot for a lot of people, and I hear that. I've heard so many stories from so many of you about how this opportunity positively affected your life, and, so, unfortunately, this is, not going to last much longer, but hopefully you'll find something else. Remote work has become more prominent, more mainstream. There's a lot of good remote-based jobs out there that you can find. Don't box yourself in and think that this is all that you can do, that you don't have any value outside of being a VIPKid teacher. That's not true. That's not true. There's a lot of things that you can do. You're very talented, and I'm sure that you would be amazing at a lot of things. Things that you might not feel qualified. Go ahead and put that application in. A lot of these recruiters out there, because I've been doing it, a lot of these job recruiters out there are setting up unrealistic hiring board. They're putting up these job postings where they want someone with godlike experience, and all this crazy, and that person doesn't exist. Go ahead and apply for that job if you're interested. Do the interview and see what happens. That's what I did. That's how I got into IT, and you can do it too with whatever you're looking to go into. Let's talk about coping with change a little bit. I'm not going to be your counselor, your therapist. We'll talk about a few things. I think, first of all, I think it's real important that you acknowledge that things are changing. And I always, this is an area where I always get maybe, kind of, probably bristle people the wrong way, because I'll see people speaking a language, on some of these sites and forums where it sounds like they don't really realize what's going on, or they don't seem to realize that, no, you need to have a sense of urgency. This is going to come apart. There's not going to be, probably a light at the end of the tunnel where everyone's going to be employed by VIPKid doing something else. I highly, highly doubt that, and I've said in other videos why, but, basically any other market that they would do just wouldn't have the numbers that we were dealing with here. Adults in China, maybe, but I think you need to realize what's going on here. China is really making a big shift. It's not just about us. They're going towards nationalism. I mean, there's all kinds of things going on. Just look it up. Even people with dual citizenship, they're being told to revoke your dual citizenship because that's unpatriotic. I mean, they're, really kind of going, towards more of a, pro-China, if you will. That's all I'll say. A lot of changes, and I hope our friends in China, do well with it. I'm sure they will. I'm not, really here to have an opinion on that. I'm just telling you what's going on. Not that I don't really care what people think of that. I don't know enough about it to sit here and have much of an opinion on a lot of that stuff. But yeah, just acknowledge that things are changing. That this isn't going to be something that's going to be probably a really good opportunity for very long. I'm going to ramble on a bit, but I feel like it. Anyway, I think secondly, you want to kind of identify what your coping mechanisms are. I mean, what are some ways that people deal with change? A lot of us, maybe you have your drug of choice. You drink, or you eat, or you sleep, or you avoid people. And I think it's good to identify those so that you can try to mitigate those. Say, you know what? Normally when I get stressed out, I eat really poorly. I'm going to do my best not to do that. Okay, don't beat yourself up if you do, or whatever, and that kind of gets me to my third thing. Try to eat healthy and try to exercise. I think that'll really help you deal with stress, help you feel better, get some of those, healthy, good endorphins fired up. Just a couple of tips. Now get proactive. Now I'm kind of late in the game for this. This is something that we were talking about a month ago, really, almost 2 months ago now. You need to really get proactive. If you haven't started getting that other opportunity rolling by now, you definitely should be. By now you definitely should realize that this opportunity being viable for being a main income money maker into next year is highly, highly unlikely. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I would highly doubt it. So, be proactive, and I kind of talked about that before, reaching out to your community, your friends, fellow VIPKid teachers, here's my resume. What do you think? Get some tips on it, and that's what I do. Nothing wrong with that. I'd rather my friends tear me apart and, feel that embarrassment than an HR, or a potential employer doing that. So that could be a valuable resource. These teachers, man, they, some of these teachers, they know how to pick your stuff apart, and they can do that, and you can end up with an awesome, resume or, cover sheet or whatever, from that. But, I think another thing is to, write down some positive aspects of these changes. What are some positives of it? You're going to have more time. You're going to have that opportunity to maybe start that business or to go into that new career, whatever it is, There's definitely going to be some positives. You won't have to wake up super early, and that is bad for your health. It really is. This was never a job, I think, that someone should have planned to do for the rest of their life, Unless you lived in a time zone where the hours were not so detrimental to your health. But waking up at 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m. even, sometimes even 5 a.m. for a long period of your time, it really has a negative effect on your health. I'm not going to dwell on that too much because it's coming to an end anyway. And probably my final real tip is to kind of avoid social media. And I don't mean necessarily altogether, but get off the VIPKid sites. I've left most groups except for a couple. It just, for me personally, it got to where it would bother me. Honestly, seeing some of the stuff teachers would say, I would just be like, oh my goodness, and I would want to respond. And, I realized I don't need to do that. It's not really my place to do that. It's none of my business. These people can think for themselves, and that there's no need for me to get on there. And, otherwise, you don't want too much of that negativity. You don't want to see, unfortunately, you don't want to see every day people posting, oh, this is my last class, or I'm not getting booked anymore, or this is it, now I'm going to be unemployed, and, I don't know what I'm going to do. You don't need to wear everybody else's burden. Of course, it is something that I do, so, and I know a lot of you guys do it too, but, and I just think a lot about, quite frankly, other people, and some people that really, again, need this, and this was such a blessing for them, and now it's going to be gone, and that does concern me. But maybe get off social media. I keep a couple of different groups going that I really like that I'll go back to, but I've unfollowed them. I'm definitely not on that official group, and those I don't really know what to say. I've kind of avoided talking about this before, but I honestly, I've never really liked VIPKid advocacy, those people, a whole lot. I think that they're, they do a lot of double speak. They do some good things, but I think they're definitely overrated as far as being good for the community. They're not transparent, never have been. I'm not going to sit here and totally bash them, but they're really not your friends. They were just doing a job. They were never really probably cared about everybody. I mean, they probably a little, but they were hired help, and this is kind of, and I know you ladies out here won't get this, but it's kind of like guys that will fall for, and don't judge me on this, but they'll go to a strip club and they'll fall for one of the exotic dancers, and they'll think that she really likes them, or a waitress or whatever, have to go to, in my younger years before I was married. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. You would have a young guy that would think that this lady that was really hired to be very friendly to him, that she really liked him and stuff, and he would think that, you know, and this is where a lot of guys get the wrong idea, and they become a little, you know, probably strange, because they really think that there's some connection there, when really there isn't. She's just doing her job, which is to, you know, almost act like she really likes him, or that, you know, to be really super friendly, and he gets the wrong idea. And, you know, sometimes I think that's where people go with the VIP kid advocacy. I hope I wasn't too frank on that, but you know, anyway. But sorry if I offended anybody out there with that. But you know, it's a little bit of an analogy that hopefully you understand what I'm saying. That, you know, because yeah, I can see where people get a little hurt and offended, and all of a sudden they realize that, my goodness, this company's been misleading us for the whole time. And if you just now realize that, then that could be kind of a shock to some people. But they've always been that way. They've always been this way, and nothing really, you know, that's what they get paid to do. You know, they make statements on behalf of the company, and you know, and that's kind of, and even the moderators, the community ambassadors, or whatever those people are, they're making, there's only certain things they're allowed to say and stuff. It's always been that way. It really has. But you know, that's what that is. You know, I'm, like I say, I'm pretty much over, as far as working for VIPKid. I'm over that. I still want to maintain friendships with all of you guys, you ladies, wonderful people out there, and I intend to do so. Any of my groups are going to keep going. We got the weight loss contest, and we're going to keep rolling with that. If you're part of that, doesn't matter if VIPKid goes out of business. They don't provide any prizes for us. I do that myself. So that there's no reason for that not to continue going. I've thrown out most of my props and rewards, and you know what? That was very relieving, actually, because I didn't realize how much stuff, how much junk I had accumulated for VIPKid, and I started going through it. A lot of it I just don't use anymore, and I haven't used in a long, long time. I had just kind of acquired this junk, and so I was able to get rid of that, clear up a lot of space, you know. So that's definitely one positive. So, you know, I just kind of moving in a different direction, you know, thinking about different things. It's a healthy thing. I spend a lot less time on social media now, in whole, because I have other things to do. You know, I have a whole nother new life with it. You know, one thing that I'm going to miss the most is being at home, you know, being able to you know, support my daughter in that way. The teacher just reached out just the other day and said, hey, you volunteered to come to the class. I guess they're going to have volunteers in the classroom again. And, you know, I had to say, you know, I can't do it anymore because, you know, I'm working a real job, you know. You know, VIPKid is a very real job. It was a very important job. It had its place in the world. And, you know, of course, it's been a very real job. So you hear what I'm saying. But anyway, yeah, what else are we talking about these days, you know? And I've been so concerned about this girl missing. You know, she went missing. She was trying to start a video vlogging series, and doesn't look like a good outcome with that. Her boyfriend in Florida has a very warped sense of justice, I think. I don't know what's going on there with people in Florida. They seem to let people get off and get away with things, and you know. Anyway, but so I've been following that case on social media a bit. That's been my one real probably. I just, you know, I'm the father of a daughter, and I worry about, you know, that kind of stuff scares the hell out of me, to be honest. You know, that someday you gotta like trust another man with your daughter, you know, or woman, you know, maybe, I don't know, but you know, it is something that I do worry about. So my heart goes out to that girl. And I hope that they are able to have some type of good outcome, you know, either whether it's justice for Gabby, or, you know, we don't know, maybe she'll be found somehow safe, and that would be an excellent outcome. But yeah, anyway, stay positive, everybody. I think by now people should know the score. Probably not watching my videos if you still think that the VIPKid is going to stay in business. In fact, you probably not even my friend on Facebook or anything anymore. But that's where it is. That's where we are. You know, again, I think these ESL opportunities I really think that if you're planning on, you know, teaching ESL in China, that it's a waste of time. You know, I do. And I'm not saying that to be overly negative. Some people might do it, but I think the idea that a whole lot of teachers are going to start making money by doing private tutoring in China over, you know, Chinese Zoom, I just don't see it happening. Now, people that are already doing that, you know, I mean, you've already got it set up and stuff, so maybe that'll keep it going. But some of the things I've read, they're going to know that you're trying to do that. And, you know, I've gone over this a lot in the past, but just the idea that it's prohibited is going to deter enough people away from it. You know, people are going to not do stuff just because the government makes it illegal. Yeah, you're going to have some people that are going to say, well, I don't care, I'm going to try anyway. But you're going to have a lot of people that aren't going to do that too. So, you know, I don't think that that's automatically going to be a highly lucrative career move. But there are a lot of other opportunities out there. That's what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of other opportunities. You don't have to just be an online ESL teacher for people in China. You have a lot of value outside of that. You know, that wouldn't be as tightly competed for, that wouldn't be as tightly regulated. There's stuff you can do here, you know, in the United States or wherever you happen to be. You know, you just look out there, you know, reach out for opportunities. Again, there is remote work out there. There is remote work out there. It's not just VIPKid anymore, okay? So you look for that. Try. You're not going to find anything if you don't try. If you don't try, I mean, you'd be surprised. You put the positive energy out there into the universe, and sometimes you get it back. You get some of that back. It might take a few weeks, but you'll get it. But anyway, good luck everybody. Good luck everybody, and stay positive. I'll make some more videos. I have a few of them I plan to roll out. I just haven't gotten to it. A lot of my videos you guys probably aren't gonna like, right? Just kind of sit on here and talk about things. They're more like just video diaries for, you know, thoughts and, you know, comments on daily things. But anyway, everybody, that's it for me. You know, we'll see you guys around. Stay in touch.